Now, let's take a look at a different question in standard form. Now, what we have did previously is we get a whole number or a decimal to change to a standard form. But doing that, the reverse should be possible too, right? So in this case, I have 4 examples prepared for you to do this. Now, what if I were to give you a question? I have a standard form over here, and I want you to change it back to a whole number. So what do? All right, very simple. So all you need to do is to look at this, all right? You just have to look at a few things over here. Number 1 is the decimal point, all right? The decimal point, if this number is given to you in standard form, this decimal point over here will be your start, okay? And over here, if you look at the power over here will tell you what is the direction you need to jump and how many times you need to jump. So in this case, it's a positive 6. So you know you have to jump to the right hand side 6 times. Okay, that is all you need to get from this standard form. And the next thing you need to do is to convert it into a whole number. So let's get started. So I have 1.496. That is my starting point, all right? So I will just write here, that is my starting point. So based on the power over here, I know that I have to jump 6 steps forward to my right. So let's do that. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so over here, that's my n, right? So if you notice that the decimal point has started from here and jumped to here. And if you notice, there's a lot of empty pockets over here. So what do we do with these empty pockets? So what we're going to do is we're going to add zeros to it. All right, we're going to add zeros to it. So your final answer will look something like this. So 1, 4, 9, 6, then 0, 0, and 0. All right, there will be no more decimal in this number because the decimal has moved to the end. The decimal point has moved to here. So it has become a whole number again. Okay? So very similar, okay, we can take a look at this example as well. So this is given in standard form. So this decimal place is telling you the starting point, all right? So this is the starting point. And this plus 5 is telling you that the decimal point will be jumping to the right 5 times. Okay? So all we need to do now is to convert this standard form into a whole number. So 1.096. So this is my start. And based on the power over here, I need to jump 5 steps to the right. So let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is where my decimal point has landed. And that's my n. Okay? So what do I do with all these empty pockets? I will just add zeros to it. Okay? So my final answer will look like this. 1, 0, 9, 6. And 2, I have 2 empty pockets here. So I will just add 0 and 0. So again, if you notice this final answer here, there will be no longer any decimal in the numbers, alright, because the decimal has moved to the end over here, okay? But of course, you don't have to show that lah. It's already understood, okay? Now, very similar, like in this question, alright? So we have the number 7 here. So where is my decimal point? So again, if I have a whole number, my decimal point will be always on the right. So that is my start. Okay? So over here, you see that I have negative 6 here. So what it is trying to say is the decimal point will be going to the left-hand side. How do I know left-hand side? Because it's a negative. And how many times? I have to go 6 times to the left. All right, 6 times to the left. Okay. So now we will just put this number over here. All right, and my decimal point is over here. That is my start. And I will be jumping 6 steps to the left. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have ended up here. All right. Now, again, very similar to this. All the empty pockets, we will be putting zeros in. All right. So let's see what's happened. So I'm just going to follow back. My decimal point is here. So I'm just going to write it down here. All the empty pockets, all right, I will add 0. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty pockets. So which means I have 5, 0, 3, 4, 5. And over here, I will have my 7, right? Okay. Now, again, this is not my final answer yet. If you have a decimal point over here, like point something, behind here, you should be writing a 0. Okay. All right, that is how you write the answers over here. So, next, let's take a look at this example. All right. It's the same thing over here. I have my number over here, and I have my decimal point over here. So that will be my starting point. Okay? Now, if you take a look in this standard form, the power is -4 over here. All right, so what does -4 tells you? So which means you have to jump left-hand side. How many steps? In this case will be 4 steps to the left. So let's try to convert this standard form into a decimal number now. So in this case, I have 7.05. Okay? And this decimal point here, it's my starting point. And based on the power here, you know that I have to go left-hand side 4 steps. So let's jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where my decimal point end up. So again, that's my end. That's my end. So all the empty pockets you see here, you will be replacing it with zeros. So your final answer will look something like this. So point, I have 3 empty pockets. So I will put 3 zeros. And don't forget all these 3 numbers as well. 1, 2, 3, 7, 0, 5. You have to write it down, right? You have to write down everything here. And then finally, this is 0.0. So which means at the back here, you should add a 0 behind. Okay? So this is how you convert a standard form into either whole number or a decimal number.